just got a couple more things left. Let's keep going. So going on over in the UK, it says every baby in the UK to receive DNA testing. Personalized medicine made possible through things like DNA testing will form a big part of the health security's new plan for the NHS. Now, this is one of those situations where personalized medicine, gene sequencing, personalized drugs, predictive healthcare, these are the exact same things that we've seen coming out of the One Health globalist agenda. You guys know the One Health situation regarding that. It's the exact same thing. It's the same thing that we've seen in Stargate, the whole personalized medicine through AI situation. And now we see the same thing happening with newborns in the United Kingdom. All of them are going after the same goal. They're just being presented in different ways, but it's all the same thing. It's about full access to your genome, your DNA, to personalize, to track, to maintain down to a cellular level your body. And so it's continuing on in that same agenda. It says every baby in the UK will have their DNA tested under a new 10-year plan for the NHS. The whole genome sequencing will screen for hundreds of diseases and allow people to leapfrog killer illnesses, according to the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting. Speaking to The Telegraph, he revealed plans to move the NHS towards a model of sickness prevention rather than treatment. Prevention, predictive. Remember how we were talking about the cell phone data for the speeders for predicting? That same algorithmic idea, principle is being applied to the healthcare situation as well. It's the same thing. Personalized medicine, made possible through things like DNA testing, will form a big part of that plan, with 650 million euro pledged to genomics research by the government. The revolution in medical science means that we can transform the NHS over the coming decades from a service which diagnoses and treats ill health to one that predicts and prevents it. Genomics presents us with the opportunity to leapfrog disease, so we're in front of it rather than reacting to it. And so this is the new direction that it's moving in when it takes people's genomes and sequences together, adds it to your social profile, feeds it to an AI system, and can then start predicting what they want to do with your body. It says newborns are currently offered a blood test when they are around 5 days old to check for 9 rare but serious conditions. This is the heel prick thing. In those blood spot tests, the baby's heel is pricked to collect a few drops of blood on a card, but the whole genome sequencing blood samples are typically taken from the umbilical cord shortly after birth. This is just sick, I'll tell you what. In the past, Mr. Streeting has spoken about his desire to make the NHS more preventative in order to reduce rates of serious illnesses and save money. Technologies like artificial intelligence will be used by the health service to predict illness and allow treatment or medication to be offered much earlier. It's the exact same thing as One Health. It's the exact same thing as Stargate. It's the exact same thing that they are deploying all over the place. It's about taking your cells, your DNA, your genome, sequencing it together to apply it to your digital twin in a social profile and allowing AI to monitor, track, and predict you down to a cellular level. And this is exactly what they've continued to do in regards to all of this, which should not surprise us at all. Let me see here. Yeah. So here's the thing. While this is going on, we have the WEF doing their summer Davos, their a meeting of champions, as they call it. They do it every year because the WEF has a headquarters in China. And they're talking about 10 technologies that can be used in the future, emerging technologies of the future. And one of them, through this report here, we're going to take a look, is autonomous biochemical sensing and basically wiring biological sensors for real-time insight. So these are sensors that are applied to either our bodies or to nature in order to produce real-time tracking. And then they can actually use AI and other devices to alter the state of whatever it's on, whether it's the human body or whether it's nature, like soil or plants or something like that. And this is one of the things that they're talking about right now, literally right now. And so we can see here, it says autonomous biochemical sensors are analytical devices that autonomously and continuously detect and quantify specific biochemical parameters, such as disease markers for patient individualized health management. That's literally what we just read in the UK. That's literally what Stargate is about. Such as disease markers for patient individualized health management. That is identical to what we just saw in the UK, what we just saw with the One Health situation, what we just saw with Stargate, everything. It's the exact same thing. Or chemical changes in soil or water for environmental management. Let's see here. Yeah, it says, while typical sensors such as well-known COOF tests are single-use, the challenge in autonomous biochemical sensing is to achieve continuous monitoring and electronic data capture. Such technical limitations have restricted autonomous biochemical sensors to very specific applications. The most successful to date is the wearable glucose sensor, which measures glucose concentration in real time and communicates with a smartphone that controls an insulin pump to stabilize glucose levels. Some of the biggest companies investing in the development and manufacturing of these technologies include Abbott Laboratories and Roche DuPont. It says, due to simultaneous advancements in materials science, nanotechnologies, biomimetics, and wireless technologies, autonomous biochemical sensing is emerging to address other targets and applications. An example is the inclusion of an active reset function in a wearable sensor for inflammation markers, enabling continuous monitoring instead of a single use. Wearable sensor that continuously monitors you while you're wearing it and will work without just a single use, but will continue to do it. US-based Prosperity Health is developing wearables for continuous monitoring of female hormones for ovulation tracking, fertility treatments, and menopause care. An ongoing development are microbial whole cell biosensors employing microbes that produce or deplete an enzyme when they encounter, what they are targeted to detect, that enzyme being their means of signaling detention. So we are talking about a continuous wearable sensor that is always down to your cellular level, tracking you, giving reports, and then if connected to some other device, will constantly administer whatever it's supposed to. Now, if we jump out, I think there was one other section I wanted to point out. Yeah, it's the next part. We jump out, I wanted to show you this too, because this is in line with it. Number 9 says collaborative sensing, empowering connected systems to make context-aware decisions. So this has to do with it too, but on a bigger scale. So sensing devices are now ubiquitous in people's homes, vehicles, and workplaces. Already useful in isolation, these distributed sensors are increasingly being connected to each other and integrated with AI-infused systems, paving the way for rapid advances in collaborative sensing that can generate insights to improve the capabilities of individual sensors. Beyond autonomous urban mobility, promising applications for collaborative sensing are diverse, including perceptive mobile networks that combine communications and sensing on the same network. Collaborative sensing will reshape how cities operate and how organizations use information to make decisions. But there is another part here. Where is it at? Right here. Promising applications for collaborative sensing are diverse, including improving urban mobility. For example, connected traffic lights can be dynamically adjusted themselves based on traffic cameras and environmental sensors to manage urban congestion and emissions level. Other examples are collaborative sensing, including large-scale autonomous mapping in mines, analyzing storm systems, drone swarms, Internet of Things-based structural health monitoring, which is exactly everything that we've been talking about, the Internet of Things, and environmental monitoring and bringing more precision to agriculture and natural source management. See, the Internet of Bodies is wearing or is having devices on or inside of you that connect you to the Internet of Things. It allows full one united system health to allow your body to be transferred into the same data stream as the collection of all other data into the Internet of Things, connecting everything together, part of the oneness thing, One Health, and so on and so forth, and sending it off to the data centers to be collected and evaluated. So when you're talking about these biosensors, when you're talking about personalized health, when you're talking about AI-driven health, when you're talking about all these things, this is part of that Internet of Things structure that is so important to the quote-unquote globalists, but we're starting to see it through every aspect of what we got going on. If that's not enough, I wanted to point this out too. It says, a key to unlocking the benefits of collaborative sensing at scale and achieving true collaborative autonomy will be multimodal algorithms that can process numerous varieties of sensor data, from LiDAR, light detection and ranging, to EO/IR, electro-optical and infrared cameras, to radar and beyond. Much of this work is currently focused on balancing a shared information landscape and operational picture with distributing processing. And it also says minimizing bandwidth and power requirements, generative AI may play a role here. Basically, utilizing LiDAR and infrared. I've talked about how they have sensors where it's an infrared sensor that they can shoot at your heart or your chest, and it can read your heartbeat and identify you through your heartbeat. Did you know everybody has a individual heartbeat? It's interesting. Like we have individual fingerprints and teeth and all that type of stuff. We also have personalized heartbeats. They have infrared sensors like that. They can shoot at your chest and they can identify who you are through that. What they're talking about is on a grander scale. They can shoot these things through your walls and identify who you are. This is what they're talking about. This is the Internet of Things. This is the Internet of Bodies. This is about identification down to a cellular level. They want to be able to know who you are. They know you more than you know yourself. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, first of all, this is the agenda that they've been working on, that we've been talking about, and they're continuing to do it. But along with that, let's see if I can bring up the right thing here. Along with that, we just got an announcement from RFK, from RFK Jr., which is fascinating. The same time that the WEF is talking about this stuff, the RFK is getting asked about this as well. Let's hear from RFK Jr., who supposedly is on our side.
Secretary Kennedy, my first question is that there is a tremendous amount of research that shows that greater engagement with one's health leads to better outcomes. In recent years, American innovators have created and improved wearable devices so that not only are consumers able to better engage with their health through monitoring data, but they are able to share that data with providers. I believe American consumers, in line with the 21st Century Cures Act, should be able to access these innovative wellness tools. Secretary Kennedy, do you agree that consumers should continue to have access to these tools?
Absolutely. In fact, we're about to launch one of the biggest advertising campaigns in HHS history to encourage Americans to use wearables. It's a way.
Did you guys hear that? He believes in wearables. They're about to launch the biggest campaign to encourage Americans to wear wearables. Literally the exact same thing that the WEF wants to do, that the WHO wants to do, that the globalists wants to do. He's doing the exact same thing. Keep going.
Launch one of the biggest advertising campaigns in HHS history to encourage Americans to use wearables. It's a way of people can take control over their own health. They can take responsibility. They can see, as you know, what food is doing to their glucose levels, their heart rates, and a number of other metrics as they eat it. And they can begin to make good judgments about their diet, about their physical activity, about the way that they live their lives. We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
His vision is that every American will be wearing a wearable in 4 years. Interesting. So this guy, who apparently is on our side, is actually doing exactly what the globalists have been wanting to do. Doing the exact same thing. What's fascinating is I didn't point it out, but in that article, or the document provided by the WEF, it talks about how these tools will be able to use energy harvesting to power them. What is energy harvesting? It's taking human energy to power a biocell within the device, powering it. So you never have to change the batteries. The human powers the device. Well, we've been talking about for years now. I think I brought this up like 2.5 years ago. 6G has been proven that it can take human energy from a large scale aspect and power devices through human energy. We were told that this was going to happen in the Matrix. Now, there's a lot of people that may not know what predictive programming is. Many people may not believe what it is. But this is exactly what the Matrix told us in 1999. And they're telling us that even this stuff will use human energy to power these devices. And RFK Jr. wants to do it. Let's take a look at this, shall we? I'm sure you guys will remember this dude's mug.
Aujourd'hui, au bout de ça, on parle de puces qu'on pourra s'implanter. Ce sera quand ça?
Certainement dans les 10 années à venir. Et d'abord, on va les implanter dans nos vêtements, c'est-à-dire wearables, comme on le dit. Et après, on pourrait s'imaginer qu'on les implante dans...
So Klaus Schwab in 2019 is saying first there'll be wearables, like on your clothes, then it will implant them in our brains and in our skin.
Dans nos cerveaux ou dans notre peau. Et à la fin, peut-être il y a une communication directe entre notre cerveau et le monde digital. Ce que nous voyons, c'est une sorte de fusion du monde physique, digital et biologique.
We think that wearables are a key to the MAHA agenda, making America healthy again. And we are going to, my vision is that every American is wearing a wearable within 4 years.
So literally doing exactly what Klaus Schwab has been wanting to do with the WEF. Identical. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Not a thing has changed. It's just continued. It's sped up. It's ultimately sped up. And we continue to go further and further down that road. Now, this also has an involvement with this as well. I've talked about this before. I think I talked about this like a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. But yeah, back in October of 2019, Bill Barr and Trump, they worked together with a dude from Walmart to develop the DEEP program. And you can see here, this was issued by the Office of the Attorney General, William Barr. Subject: implementation of the National Disruption and Early Engagement Programs to counter the threat of mass shootings. DEEP, or Disruption and Early Engagement Programs. So this is Operation DEEP. And they use the idea of the threat of mass shootings to develop a program for wearable technology to read brainwaves in order to determine predictively if that person was going to commit a shooting. What they were implementing was wearable technology that would read the brainwaves and, similar to like what we see in Minority Report and so on and so forth, determine if that person is going to commit a crime before they actually commit it, and then arrest them for it. Well, what they wanted to do is they wanted people wearing these devices, and if they think that they're going to commit a mass shooting, they would pick them up and throw them into an insane asylum. And this became a much larger project. It just kind of kept developing into bigger things, and so on and so forth. This program is still active. This thing never went away. When it was implemented in 2019, it didn't just go away. Biden took over. The Biden administration took it over. They started to move forward with it, and now the Trump administration is still working with it as well. So when you're talking about wearable devices that they want to implement, it's in line with this as well, the DEEP program from back then. With these devices, we also get things like this. It says your Alexa and Fitbit can testify against you in court. In today's digital world, Big Brother may be on your wrist, but in your room or inside your heart. They can take all these spyware things that monitor you, listen to you, record you, and they can be used against you in the court of law if they so choose to do so. Ensuring cybersecurity of medical devices. It says hacking of hearing aids can be spying related. All of the audio data can be intercepted, so they can essentially just listen in on our conversations, and they can grab even geolocation data. So there's a huge variety of exploits associated with the Internet of Things devices. So all these things can listen to you, even track your location. Remember, RFK wants every American to be wearing a wearable that can do all these things. CRISPR on your wrist. Wearable CRISPR microneedle patch for extraction and real-time monitoring of cell-free DNA. Got that. And then we've talked about this as well. ARPA-H, which is the health arm of DARPA, pretty much. ARPA-H launches program for real-time drug delivery and disease tracking. Basically, what this is there's two programs that they have. One is called the Living Sentinel, and the other one's called Living Pharmacy. And they're devices that go on and inside you that track your health and then will deploy medicine based upon whatever it's reading. And it'll just automatically inject it into your body when it senses that you need it. And then that report is also uploaded to your phone and to your doctor's database. This is the global agenda of full tracking and tracing. You can apply this to things like digital vax passports, which they've been talking about. Well, if you have a wearable that is constantly maintaining your cellular level on that, it can determine if you have taken the jab. It can determine what your health is. They can determine if you're infected. And so all they have to do is scan all that, and your entire profile gets brought up because of the wearables that's going on. These devices that inject and alter cell stuff. Again, these are things that they can just start applying to it. And then, of course, we know that it can all be powered through human energy, and it continue to move forward in that way. So this grants them access to literally every aspect of your life down to your cellular level. And this is something that the globalists have been working on for a very long time. And this is something that even the Trump administration is working on. Through wearables, through Stargate, we see what's going on in the UK with what they want to do with gene sequencing there. And it all has to do with getting down to your biological level. There's many aspects why they would want to do that. We know that there's eventually coming, we read in Revelation about the mark of the beast. I believe that mark is going to alter people's DNA, so they're not going to be 100% human anymore. There's many reasons why I believe that. A lot of it has to do with the days of Noah. A lot of it has to do with realizing why Christ came 100% man, 100% God. He came as man because it's through the human bloodline that we are able to, that his sacrifice is able to cover us, and so on and so forth. Then there's also the spiritual aspect of it as well, where I went over this in the Eden End book. So if you want more information in regards to that, you can check out the book. But in regards to cellular and brainwave level of creating a universal absolute intelligence, or taking human and AI in order to create God, where God doesn't exist yet, and we must combine with technology in order to create God, or the absolute or universal intelligence, and so on and so forth. So there's many different levels to why these people are trying to do this. And so there's some very interesting things. It's not just about, because we can just take it to the most simplistic form of, it's all about tracking us. It's all about control. They just want to control us. They just want to track us. And that's that. It's like, well, I mean, that's, yeah, to a certain level, but there really is much more to it in terms of biblical options, as well as the spiritual aspect of what they're trying to do. And that's usually what leads this stuff. That's not usually, but that is what leads this stuff to progress further, is that level, not the surface level. All the people that we see, talking heads, Klaus Schwab, and so on and so forth, is all about, control and trace and all that stuff. That's what they're looking for. But when you start getting deeper into who's actually developing these things, what's leading them, there's the spiritual and the biblical elements that are involved, that those are the main contributors to this. And so they're definitely moving forward with this. Nothing has slowed down. Nothing has stopped. We definitely see that coming out of the UK and coming out of the mouth of RFK Jr. there. But that's the thing, is they're trying every possible way to use technology to get to know us on a cellular level, down to a DNA level. But they will never be able to know us on the same level that God does. Remember, he knows every hair on our head. He knew us before we were even born. He knows us on such a deep level that while Satan tries everything that he possibly can to use technology to try and get to that level that God knows about us, it's never going to happen. He can't do it. It's impossible. He's going to try, though. His pride just blinds him, so he continues to try. But that's what he's doing. That's what Satan is doing. He's trying to use this technology in order to play God. Try and know us at such a deep level that only God can understand, but that's never going to happen. And again, that should bring comfort. That should bring comfort to us. I know it does to me. Very similar to what we were talking about when it comes to not fearing death and not worrying about death. Taking comfort. No matter what comes at us in this world, what is coming afterwards is so much greater. It brings us a peace. And so this should bring us a peace as well. While they are attempting to watch us, God is watching them. And so the God that we serve, our God, is watching them. And that should bring comfort to us.